Casual Magic has been sponsored by Quiver, maker of the Quiver and Bolt deck cases and other fine deck holding accessories. Use the code CASUAL on their website for 10% off your order. We're also sponsored by Architect, the premier site for hosting your decks on the internet. I love them and they love me, and it seems like a good reason for you to use them. This episode is also brought to you by Monopool, a fast-growing marketplace for Magic the Gathering that makes buying and selling cards easy. Their optimizer helps you get the best value when buying cards, and their team is focused on making it a great experience for buyers and sellers alike. You can also support Casual Magic directly by going to our Patreon at patreon.com/ShivamB. And now, on with the show. Hello and welcome to Casual Magic, the show where we talk about the fun side of Magic the Gathering. My name is Shivam, Bhatt, and Casual Magic is brought to you by Quiver, Architect, and Monopool, and my patrons at patreon.com/ShivamB. Thank you to all of you for your support over these past 6 years as we roll into, I guess this is the beginning of the 6th year. So as we roll into the 6th year of this show, good times. Today, I am joined by one of the respondents to my recent call for people to come and talk to me about the show on Bluesky, Interesting MTG Art, aka Tori. And I'm really hyped because I enjoy reading their feed a lot. And it's a good repository of fan art and just proxies and weird, just little, that's one of the things I do is I like to collect on because we all live, when we're on social media, we all live in these weird hell pits where everybody's just posting garbage all the time. And you're like, oh, look, today, Trump said that all brown people can now be beaten by zucchinis walking down the street. And you're like, well, I guess that's just Tuesday now. And it's just like, well, hope there are no zucchinis anywhere nearby. But so I've learned to start populating my feed with people who post interesting magic artwork. So that counts both proxy artists, and of course, Interesting MTG. So thank you so much for joining me today. How's it going?
It's going good. You're catching me in the middle of my college finals week. I went back to school in my 30s, and now I'm having to do finals between work and playing Magic. So I'm
God.
desperately in need of a little bit of fresh air from that.
Yeah, there's nothing quite as refreshing as sitting and talking about cards for an hour to remind you that you don't need to think about math or whatever the hell it is.
Math is for blockers and not for me.
Yeah, you know what, though? Given that, the finals of the World Championships were won by freaking Grand teaching everybody lessons, maybe math is just what we have to deal with.
We're out here learning a lesson every day. Each and every one of us.
Somebody this morning posted a picture of Grand next to the regalia from FF15 because, Grand got one power and you can tap her to pilot the regalia. And I was like, yeah! That is the Final Fantasy crossover I never wanted.
Grand and the boys. Let's go road trip.
Can you imagine? This is what they wanted UB to be, man. It's like Grand and Sarkin driving the car. Let's go.
Let's go see Titan.
Oh, good Lord. But yeah, so there were two things that were that struck me, and one was that you had mentioned that you wanted to talk about your winding path into getting back into CCGs, but also that you had a Final Fantasy cube, and of those two, Final Fantasy and cubing are two of my favorite things in Magic. So
yeah, cube is maybe the best format, full stop, in my opinion. I cubed for the first time about a year ago at CubeCon, and
if you're going to cube anywhere, I guess that's but that's like saying, you know what, I'm going to go learn about God in Jerusalem. Let's okay, yeah. You need to understand that not all cubes are like CubeCon. But yeah, what was that like though? Then actually sitting and playing Cube for the first time, because I haven't done that in a long time.
It was a really kind of wild experience. CubeCon CubeCon can be a little bit intense if you don't know what you're getting into, in my opinion. I did 4 cubes in 2 days
Oh
and
my
then, like, a
god.
little bit of extra stuff, the 3rd day there. The first paper cube that I drafted at CubeCon, was made by my now friend, Cade, who goes by Irrelevant on social media. They have a hybrid mana cube called Way Too Hybrid, where like most of the cards in the cube have hybrid mana pips. So like already I'm going in and I'm like, cube, like what's this all about? This is just draft, right? This shouldn't be too hard. And then I get all of these hybrid mana pip cards in front of me, and I'm like,
Oh
what kind
no.
of what kind of like Hellraiser puzzle box have I just stumbled into?
Dude, it's like Shadowmoor only plus 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 because it's every hybrid card from all time. And you know, there people are like, "Oh yeah, drafting like a hybrid is easy. You just go monocolor." I'm like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, but when you're looking at a pile of cards and they're like blue white and red white and white red and like green red and black and you're like, I don't know what the hell is going on." And like
Yep.
all the frames are all over the place. And this is why I don't want hybrid mono to work like that in Commander, because I have looked at a hand of Shadowmoor Limited and been like, "What the hell is going on?" It's like when you see
Yep.
when you open up your hand and you see a frame that's black, blue, green, and red, and they're like, "Yeah, this is my mono white deck," and you're like, "I just what? I give
Yeah.
up."
It'd be like staring at the deck building equivalent of like a Jackson Pollock painting, I
Yeah, but I
feel.
can at least understand those. I love Jackson Pollock and like Kadinsky and all those guys, but
Yeah.
dude, I remember the first time I saw a Jackson Pollock. I went to the MoMA in New York, and
Mhm.
I sat down, and there's just like the canvas is like the size of a bedroom. It's gigantic, and you're like,
Yeah.
and it's got like random crap embedded in there, like keys and whatever, and like, what the hell
Mhm.
is going on? But it's so sick. It's so sick, and it also feels sometimes like what the inside of my brain looks like. But
Felt felt
yeah, so but doesn't that get like really draining to be at KubeCon and be like just running cube into cube into cube into cube into cube?
I'll be real with you, it was tiring.
Mm,
I was definitely like I was throwing coffee back. Like, I drink a lot of coffee on a baseline, but that whole weekend, I was just like putting them back.
yeah,
It
dude.
was worth it though. Like, it was a good exhaustion. Like, I came out of it and I was like, it was CubeCon was maybe the most fun I've had going to an event and, like, playing Magic. I'll go to MagicCon and just, like, hang out for a few days, but, like, CubeCon, I went and played, and that was, like I had a great time, like, just playing. It was good.
I want to go to KubeCon really badly, but they always put it at like a very bad time for me to actually show up because it's like, man, it's the
Mhm.
middle of like early fall. It's either the beginning of school or it's like my wedding anniversary or something ridiculous just gets in the way. And I'm like, dude, put it put it sometime people can actually show up to, and not in like, isn't it in, where was it, in like
Yeah.
Milwaukee or something? No, it's
Madison.
KubeCon Madison. It's like
Yep.
somewhere way out of the way unless you're in the Midwest, and I'm
Mhm.
very not. Um, yeah, I don't know. I will go. I will make it one day. But
Yes.
um, so before we get into this Final Fantasy cube, because I'm very excited to learn about Final Fantasy cubing, actually,
Yeah.
because like I want to show you when you mentioned that Peachy Pop at MagicCon gave me these, a whole sack
Oh,
of these, which for the audience at home are little wooden rectangles, basically token sized rectangles that have been like burnt on them with like laser cut. So they're laser cut onto their hero tokens, but all
mhm.
of them are the classes from Final Fantasy One. So Black Mage, White Mage, Monk, Thief, Fighter, whatever, and
Heck
it
yeah.
is so sick because I play a Furion deck, which is my like equipment copying deck that makes a ton of heroes. So I can put these out and have
Yes.
a bunch of Final Fantasy One heroes to go with my Final Fantasy Two commander, and I'm like, yeah, let's go.
I love that, going old school.
It's so
The
sick. It is so sick, and it ties into what you do, which is putting up interesting fan made creations that tie into Magic.
Yeah. Yeah, I love a fan-made token. Like, woodcut tokens are that's
So
cool.
cool. Yeah,
That's wow.
PG Pop was like, "Yeah, I got a laser printer or like a laser cutter or something. I had to do something with it." I'm like, yeah, fair, very fair.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so tell me about your journey into Magic before we get into this cube. How did you get here?
Oh gosh. My path into Magic's a really long and winding one. I learned how to play um in 2003 or 4. Um so like around Mirrodin block, kind of Kamigawa block, that era. Um one one of my like so before that I had been playing the Pokemon TCG like as a
Mm,
kid and like got really into that, played Yu-Gi-Oh for a little bit. I was even making my own card games for a little bit just to like kind of like get the fix out a little bit. Like 10-year-old me just cutting up like pieces of like construction paper and drawing
mm-hmm.
monsters on them and stuff. And so like when I was in like middle school, my dad would take my brother and I to the downtown boys club in my hometown, like the Boys and Girls Club.
Mm,
And some of the guys there were like, "Tori, you like card games. You want to learn how to play Magic?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." So they put together this like kind of jank kitchen table deck, just like all the draft chaff, and made a mono red deck for me. And I got hooked like pretty quickly. Like it
mm.
turns out like hasty red goblins can just pull you right in.
We were talking off stream about the joy of Raging Goblin and how it's like just such an iconically fantastic piece of artwork, and like
Yes.
the art just like it sells the card so hard. You're like 1/1 with haste. How good can that be? That's fine, I guess. But that circle of the slash of the axe going around and the motion in it, and it's just like that card is one of the most iconic mid-tier Magic cards ever. Not mid-tier, but mid-era Magic.
Mhm.
It's just like it's
It's so
so. It feels like they're every time I see it, and this is gonna date me a lot. Every time I see it, I think of Ninja Gaiden 1. The Ryu in that game has this weird spiral slash which jumps up in this 360 around him, and that's
I know what
exactly what the
you're talking
Raging
about, yeah.
Goblin looks like. It's just this big scythe kind of going through it. I don't know. It's one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
it's real like it's really good like card mechanic art synergy because it like he looks like a little hasty guy who's just gonna come in and like kind of like chip a little bit off you.
Mm, just it's perfect. It's a perfect piece of artwork. But you were saying,
Hmm.
so that was like 2003, and then you faded out. But like, um, God, dude, you know, I d- Pokemon the card game is such a heinous card game, and
Oh yeah.
like I tried to play it with my kid, and I understand getting it for the purpose of collecting. Like, I want my favorite Pokemon, I want to catch all the things, but as a
Hmm.
game, and you have to take like 6 of your cards out of your deck, put them aside as treasures for the opponent to win, and then you don't get to use them. So if all your evolutions are in there, you're just kind of hosed. And I don't know. I find the game unpleasant to play, but I respect the fact that a lot of people grew up playing it. So good luck to you.
Yeah. Relic of childhood. Absolutely. It's
Yeah, that would be a
it
cool artifact,
mechanically
relic
shows
of
the way
childhood,
through. Yeah.
to go with the relic of progenitus. Uh,
Mm.
maybe not. But yeah. So what? But that's like 2003. How'd you get to here now? Like you
Oh,
faded out, and then what brought you back to Magic?
after like kind of coming like in and out and revisiting it a little bit like through my 20s, mainly thanks to Duels of the Planeswalkers 2013. That game's so good. um I so I came back to Magic in 2018, and how I got there is like a little bit of a story in and of itself. Basically, like I got back into card games generally through the mobile game Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links,
The hell is
which
that?
it's a like a free to play like mobile like micro version of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like weird to explain, but like you have like like a condensed version of like the Yu-Gi-Oh game board, like a condensed version of like the turn order, and it's like it was at least like a condensed like kind of curated version of the card pool, and it's
Hmm.
meant to be played in like quick mobile bursts.
So it's like
And
Chandelar, but for Yu-Gi-Oh.
more or less, yeah, kind of. It had like a lot of single player stuff going on.
Hmm.
Um, so like I was playing that
I mean, I
at
guess putting
work.
it on mobile makes sense because a tiny little screen fits a tiny little text.
Yeah, it's a really, really, like, easy game to, like, kinda, like, sneak down under your desk while you're at work and, like, trying to play to pass away the time.
Oh God.
Um, yeah, I had that as, like a time waster for a little bit, and then, like, through that, I was kinda like, I like card games again." So, like, I found out that, in 2017, like, I was doing this, and, I'd found out that the Final Fantasy card game has started getting printed in English.
Hmm.
Um, so I picked up a bunch of those, and I didn't really have anyone to play them with at the time. But like a couple months after I picked up the Final Fantasy card game, I moved to Florida, and my friends that I was staying here with for like the first few months that I was here, like I got them into the Final Fantasy card game. We went out to a pre-release at some store in Alabama, for like the newest Final Fantasy card set. And we were the only ones who showed up, and we were like, well, I guess there's not really like a Final Fantasy TCG scene here. And we're like on our way out of the store, and my buddy DeMarcus is like standing at the counter. I'm like, what's up? He's like, hey, have you ever played Magic? And I was like, I've played a little bit of Magic, sure.
Oh,
If you
you
want, we
said
could get.
Florida. I was like, what
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
Horda? Isn't that the alien from Star Trek? Sorry,
it,
it just dawned on me like 3 minutes after you. I was like, what the hell, Florida? Oh, oh.
the state, it does feel alien sometimes, though.
Yes, but
Florida's
sorry, it
wild.
was just like I was completely like it was like jamming an ice pick in my gears. I was just like, I what what? Just, weirdly
You're
enough,
okay.
it's
Hmm.
it's weird you say Alabama because I remember when I took my first break from Magic in like the
Yeah,
early 2000s, I got into a game called Magi Nation, which was a really cute anime game in the early 2000s or whatever. And
I've heard of that. Yeah.
I went to the Magi Nation World Championships at Gen Con in 2001 or two or something, and the winners were these dudes who were from Alabama, who were basically like hardcore like combo freaks from Magic or whatever, who had figured out how to like break the game. And I was just like, it was like in Magi Nation, each of these factions is basically a color, and you can use energy and you build theme decks around it. And
Mhm.
these guys had figured out how to build what was effectively an artifact deck that broke the color rules of the game and just put in whatever card they wanted. I'm like, are you allowed to
Yeah.
do that? And it turned out, yeah, you can. And it was the equivalent of going in there with a themed precon up against somebody playing like modern, affinity. And you're like, oh, I just died and don't even know what your name is yet. Like I haven't even said hello, and I've already gotten pushed out of the tournament entirely. Great.
Oh my gosh.
That
I
was
I
a
love that kind of.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that in like 30 years. Anyways, um, so yeah, so you, your friend said, "Have you played Magic?" And you got back in.
Yeah, more or less. Kind of. We so we were like, "Let's buy some cards, and we'll give it a shot, and if we don't like it, you know, c'est la vie."
Sure.
So we bought this was around Rivals of Ixalan. He picked up the Selesnya Huatli Planeswalker deck. I got the mono black Vraska deck. Um, that foreshadowing like where we're going with like our interest in Magic. Um, we took him home and busted him out, played a couple of games, and it turned out we really enjoyed Magic. So we kind of got into back into Magic in like a pretty hard way. We started looking into Standard. I picked up like Simic Merfolk at the time, which was pretty cool in Ixalan. I felt.
Hmm.
Um, and my buddy DeMarcus picked up uh, Naya dinosaurs. Started building like Zakama and like Gishath, and just went real big. And
Mm.
turns out little puny merfolk can't stand up to the big feet of a dinosaur. So
It turns
I
out that's my face.
yeah, got pretty disenchanted with standard after getting stomped a bunch of times. But we went to the pre-release for Dominaria 2018, and like while we were there, I played against this guy who was like this like real surfer dude. He had like slicked back, like blonde hair, like really like tan dude, and he was like he was really chill. We played pre-release games, and you know it was super fun. He was like afterwards, he was like, "Hey, it was really fun playing with you. So you want to get a game of Commander?" And I was like, I don't know who that is." He was like, "But you've never played Commander? It's like 100 cards. You have a card in the command zone." And I was like, "I have no idea what
These are
Commander
all
is." And he was
words,
like,
man. It's like
basically. So like he showed me his Commander deck, and like it seemed pretty cool. He had like a it seemed pretty cool. He had a mono blue control deck, and like it was nowadays I know it was nasty. But at the time I was like, okay, mono blue control, not too bad.
mono blue control.
Um,
Not that bad.
like
That's a
not
jerk
that
thing to say, man.
bad. Got me. Real
That's what the
talk.
lion says to the rabbit when it's like, "Hey, it's fine in here. Don't worry, it's warm.
Hmm.
It's cool. Everything's
No
cool. You'll
one's
be fine."
no one's stomping around this pub. Um,
Oh
so like I
my
went
god.
home and like Commander stuck in my head. I was like, what the heck is Commander?
Mhm.
And then a little bit later, my buddy Demarcus is like, hey, I've been watching some Magic YouTube videos. Have you heard of the Professor? And I was like, I don't who. So like started watching the Professor's videos, found our way to the Command Zones videos from there, got an idea of what Commander was, and that's when like the engine really started taking off. We got into Commander, and it was like off to the races. Didn't look back. Have been going ever since.
Hmm.
So this was like summer 2018. I built my first Commander deck around
Do you
Nicol
remember what it
Bolas the
was?
Ravager. Yeah, Nicol Bolas the Ravager.
Ah.
Um, the bolus that comes in makes you discard a card. It was a Grixis pile of dirt. It was not a good deck. Um, running a whole lot of chaff, but started digging a lot more into that, and then here I am now, and at the end of 2025, just die hard into Commander and Cube and Draft and sampling a little bit of everything.
I love that. And
Yeah.
then when did you start getting into the magic artwork? If you call yourself, interesting MTG art, why are you that?
I so I went a little bit after I got into Magic around 2018. I was looking at random Scryfall cards and finding ones with fun artwork and sending them to my friend Demarcus. And one day I stumbled upon Kami of the Crescent Moon, and I was like, ha, he's got his whole butt out. And I was gonna send it to my buddy Demarcus, and I was like, I paused. I'd been like sending him a bunch of cards recently, and like I didn't want to bug him. And then I remembered a friend of ours who at the time was running a Facebook page dedicated to shojo manga and anime. And I was
Hmm.
like, I could probably just build like an internet page and like just share magic art I like, right? So I made a page on Facebook first called Interesting MTG Art. Just kind of just the name I just kind of pulled out of the air. Didn't really mean anything to me then, but I started like sharing official magic artwork that I liked. Over time, I left Facebook, migrated to Twitter, and when I was on Twitter, I kind of found the proxy and alter scene, and that really sparked something in me and just kind of dug me into the magic fan art scene. Like I just dove in like headfirst from there and started finding like anyone I could doing like cool stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, that magic fan art is so good these days. And
Mhm.
like, I think one of the best things to happen in since pandemic, especially, is that Magic discovered that the fandom can be more than just pro players and card strats, and can also be like Vorthoses, and can be fan artists, and can be cosplayers. And the fact that we all found each other and we've built this entire second fan economy is so good, just because it's like we can engage with the game in a cool and different and unique way. And it just
Yes.
feels much more, it feels much more like a fandom and less like we're just playing a game, and it's cool.
I feel that in my soul. Engaging with Magic as a fandom has become like a really big part of how I interact with the game at all anymore. I follow like some folks who do like uh, fan fiction.
Mm,
And I put out a tweet earlier this year asking around if like anybody had like a going group of like writers who are into magic, because I've gotten a lot into like creative writing and stuff over the last year,
mm,
and that didn't exist until my buddy Hen decided to just build that, and now there's a whole MTG writers Discord, basically
hmm.
like full of writers. Some like some WotC staff, like some like fan fiction writers, some folks who are just writers who like Magic. And that's been like a whole thing that's taken off over the last handful of months. It's super cool.
I don't know that I want to hang out with fanfic writers, or rather with God. As a writer myself, the idea of just sitting in a room with other writers just seems like very tedious.
Mhm.
But I respect it though, because like I get it. Like, for I don't know why, but it feels like Magic just doesn't have fan fiction the way like other fandoms do. Or if it is, it just isn't widely shared, or it's just not talked about. And that's kind of
It's
always struck me as strange.
Yeah, it's really niche, but it's really cool. Like there's some cool stuff floating around out there. I even wrote one myself earlier this year. So,
Yeah,
um,
I've written a fanfic before, but it is for me.
yeah,
But let's talk about this
fair.
cube though, because
Yes.
Final Fantasy is a Magic set that is near and dear to my heart, and just absolutely home run in terms of play. And
Mhm.
I've definitely tossed around the idea of having a cube, but like I don't have 8 people to play with, so just kind of like,
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah, tell me
tough.
where did you come with this? What is your hook?
Oh gosh. So I've been a lifelong Final Fantasy fan. I got into the series when I was like really little. Um, Final Fantasy 9 was like my first one, and remains my favorite to this day. I love Final Fantasy 9, man.
I'm not saying,
It's
I'm not poo pooing Final Fantasy 9 as much as that was your first one when you were little, because
yeah.
was I think I was in college when FF9 came out,
Mhm.
and I was like, I remember being super like, FF8 was one of the worst games of all time, and I was super bummed about it. And then when FF9 came out, I was like, all right, cool, and it's even super deformed. It's gonna look like Final Fantasy One, which was my first Final Fantasy. But
Yes.
it's also like they did some real bad decisions around that game. Like the Prima strategy guide, which I used to collect all the strategy guides for games. The fact that the thing was like, we're not telling you the final boss battle until you go subscribe and go to our website. And then the website's gone. So we literally don't have that strat ever. Gone forever.
Legendarily bad. Play
And then,
online. Buy.
yeah, lessons were learned that day. And then
Mhm.
also the fact that it had, if you open this box in disc one, you can't get this weapon in disc three. And it is the worst possible, and we're talking like 30 to 40 hours between these two moments of getting just
Mhm.
screwed by the game for something you had no way of knowing. And that's what turned me off to that game forever. But it's folks like, Kessler and like Gavin Verhey's also favorite Final Fantasy, so I'm just gonna just roll with it, I guess.
Yeah. High key, I wanna get Gavin to sign a card or 2 for the cube, for sure. I would
Mm.
love to make that happen someday. Um, so I've been a lifelong Final Fantasy fan, and I like when the Final Fantasy set first was like when it was becoming kind of a known thing. I remember seeing news articles about it in like 2022. I think like Polygon reported on it, And I was like, "Okay, I'm definitely in if this is a thing that's actually happening." And then they announced it for real in 2023, and I was like, "I'm going to spend an irresponsible amount of money on this." Like, I'm going to go broke on this set, and boy, did I.
You
Um,
and me and literally all of humanity.
God, it's so oof. Um, I knew I was going to, like, want to play this set. So, like, going into it, I put some money aside and I was like, "Okay, this is gonna be my Final Fantasy budget." And then I did, like, a draft or 2 on Arena and went to pre-release and played, pre-release, and I was like, "I'm going to want to play limited from this set probably forever."
Mm,
Like, it's so the Final Fantasy Magic set's really, really good, as it turns out. So, I was like, "You know what? Caution to the wind, screw it. I'm building a cube." So
mhm.
I set out basically to build a Final Fantasy singleton cube, collecting one card, one of every copy, one copy of every card from like the main booster set, including the bonus sheet. And then like a smattering of whatever commander cards ended up looking cool, whatever promos I could get my hands on, and just kind of smushed those all together. And I'm like, Final Fantasy Limited environment. Um, that's
So did you have what was your rare breakdown again? Did you just get one of each card or did you get multiples of commons or how did you do this?
I ended up going singleton, so one of each
Mm,
rare, uncommon, common, mythic. I felt like trying to do like play sets of like anything above uncommon was going to get like really unreasonable really fast.
yes.
Um, like
I
Sephiroth costs like $50.
Oh, dude, some
Yeah,
of these cards are
one.
I mean, yeah, right? Like some of
Yeah.
these cards are pretty ridiculous, but in terms of like cuz I've been talking to a lot of cube designers and one of the
Mhm.
things is like putting multiples of like the commons or whatever in there to kind of give you a little bit more of a feel and you could kind of build the themes a little bit more. How much of going
Yeah.
to CubeCon influence you in making a cube out of this?
Uh, Going to CubeCon influenced me a lot. I don't know that I would have built like a cube if I hadn't gone to CubeCon. Maybe like a commander deck. I would have just like picked up maybe like the Hero of Light, just built like Oops All Legends or something like that. But, like there's definitely like a real connection between me like going to CubeCon, hatching as like a cube sicko, and like just deciding to collect like a big pile of Final Fantasy cards to play limited with.
Yeah,
It's
see, that's the thing. Is like that's how you know that you've got the infection. When most people would
Mhm.
be like, "Oh man, I love this set. Let me build a deck around it." And they're like, "Oh man, I love this set. Let me build an entire draft environment around it."
Yeah. Like I'd been like jonesing to build a cube just anyway. So like
Mm,
Final Fantasy cube was like easy sell for me. I'd been tooling around with a couple of other ideas before that that didn't really like gel the way I wanted to. So like Final Fantasy singleton cube is simple enough idea that I could see it from start to finish.
yeah, because like I
So
was thinking about that because I've been brainstorming trying to make a Final Fantasy cube myself, just because it is one of the most fun limited environments there is. And I was like, man, I would want to have like a lot of the job select equipment because half of the fun of that format is like drafting oops all black wizards, right? Like or playing with the Furion job select deck or whatever, where you're like, I'm making a whole ton of equipment and we're gonna go. Um,
yeah.
or getting friggin' Gilgamesh. Ah, so good.
Ooh, Gilgamesh hits the board and
Yeah, it's like
he's
let's
just
just get
gold.
all the equipment and go. But
Mhm.
also, if you're doing singleton though, that means you have more of a chance of doing things like getting Cloud or getting Buster Sword or whatever.
Yeah, and that's been my experience with it so far. Like I've done a couple of drafts with it, and what I've found is like going the singleton route. You really do have like a higher chance of seeing like the really big like splashy like bombs. You get to see like you get to see all the characters. Like Vivi will show up, like Sephiroth will show up, Cloud, like Steiner from Final Fantasy IX will be there. He'll be pointing his sword, and he'll be like, "Give me more swords." Um, it is a really nice way to kind of get like the full spectrum of the Final Fantasy experience without having to worry about like like half your pack being commons, and
Well, I
that's
mean, the
definitely an
comments in
appeal.
that set were super good, though.
They
Like,
really were.
would it call them out in Chocobo was like just
Yes.
such a sick card. What was your favorite limited? I mean, what was your favorite archetype in Final Fantasy?
I really liked the wizard's archetype. I I
Mm,
uh I think Rakdos Wizards just really. I don't know that I ever got the deck together in draft,
mm.
but like that was the dream. Like getting 4 black mages rods, like maybe a copy of Lindblom.
Yeah,
Um,
who was there was the black red legendary that was like when you cast a spell, you make a wizard or some garbage like that, or you get a wizard every turn, or oh, what the hell
yeah,
was there?
Kuja
Yeah,
from Final Fantasy
Kuja
IX.
was stupid.
Yeah,
God, dude, that card just ruined my life. And wasn't there the Queen from FF9 too?
yeah, Queen Braun. She makes a wizard whenever you attack, and she has
That's what it
prowess.
was. That's what it was. I'm like,
Mhm.
there's something in black and red that makes wizards and is just a pain in my side, and I couldn't remember which one it was. Goddamn, Final Fantasy was such a good set, though. Did you put in the extra weird through the ages card, or did you just stick to the core experience?
I put in every single Through the Ages card. I got all of them. And when I tell you that was a nightmare. Like I did you know that the Final Fantasy X Ristic study with a screenshot of Tidus and Yuna standing in the water during that scene
God, I hated that
for his
card. I hated
artwork.
that scene.
Yeah. I'm really here and there with the I guess what they're calling now the source material cards. That Ristic study is $110. It's like one of the most expensive cards in the set, and like I picked it up from my LGS, and I was just like, I like it's for the cube. Put it in the cube. It's super wacky. I've got the command beacon from the bonus sheet. It's a Balam Garden from Final
Yeah,
Fantasy.
see, I might leave that one off.
Yeah. If I make any tweaks, if I decide to cut anything, that's probably gonna be one of the
Yeah,
first
because
things
that card just
for
doesn't
sure.
literally does nothing. And
No,
honestly,
it's
if
a
like
colorless
that card
land.
shouldn't be in the cube, just period. It shouldn't have been in the set, but it shouldn't be
Mm,
in the cube. Like that,
yeah.
like Lucas Stadium, the Strixhaven Stadium, like come on.
I think
But
I th
hmm?
I think you can make a case for Strixhaven
Sure, I
Stadium.
guess
The one.
there's a weird gimmick in there, sure. But
Yeah.
like Balam Garden does literal nothing. And I'm
It's
like,
yeah, it's
it fits Final Fantasy VIII to a T. That the Final Fantasy VIII headquarters is the most garbage card in the entire set. I loathe that game. But like
yeah.
for me though, the Through the Ages cards, like if they were all a mono art, then I would just be like the thing that got me was the one card I wanted was the Dragon of Mount Gold because because Final Fantasy One is one of my favorite games of all time, and they had the original like Amano Dragon art, and that was in like the first pack I opened in Final Fantasy, and I was like, turns out you just win at the door, and I don't need to do anything or think about it anymore, so I'm just good.
Miracles
Let's
do
go.
happen.
Yeah, dude. God, but like the set just was so good. It's stupid how good this set was. Like White Orosite, which is one of my all-time favorite like random cards. The fact that it's a mana rock that also imprisons a bad guy is like, what? What? Why is this so
Absolutely
good?
absolutely crazy, like, if that thing costs any less than 4 mana, it'd be, like, genuinely busted. I like that kinda design, though, like,
Oh
even
yeah,
for constructed play, combining 2 really good effects like that, I found in, like, new ways that you haven't seen before, I find is really, really fun. White Orosite's cool.
yeah. It's like I think that's one of my favorite things about the UB stuff is that they the magic designers are stretching like talent in ways that they wouldn't have done previously. They might have been like, "Oh, we're just gonna make another like this set's pacifism, this set's O-ring, this set's whatever." And now they're like, "Oh, I can do some weird, unique take on this that's hella different." And you end up with just insane bananas cards. Like, I remember the first time in the pre-release where I got Vanilla and Fang to fuse into Ragnarok, and that's when you're like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. What? And then it
The
dies, but
the
it doesn't matter. I still got it. I got it.
You did it. You made
Yeah.
the meld pair happen. That I still haven't made that happen yet. I'm trying. I want to get there.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my case for putting in multiple copies of every common, and
Okay,
that
sell
is
me.
that Marlboro is in the set alongside all of the stupid land cyclers.
That's
And
true. Yeah.
first off, the land cyclers are by themselves just fantastic, but
Mhm.
also my favorite ever deck in this format was land cycling all these guys away and then using like fight on or whatever to raise them from the dead and bring them into play, and being able to play a reanimator strategy and drop a handful of Marlboros is a real. It's like, here, buddy, why don't you just smoke a box of cigarettes instead of one at a time?
Give them the whole pack. Good
Yeah, it's like
God. That
like a
smoker
1960s
reanimator.
parent catching their kid with a cigarette, right?
We're playing Flintstones reanimator. That's perfect.
Oh my
I
god, dude.
doing multiple copies of the lower rarity cards might be something I eventually come around and
Yeah.
do. There's a white one drop in the set. I think it's Magitech Soldier.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
just
The one that gets like
yeah.
more Magitech soldiers.
Yeah, it's basically just a 1 mana 1/1 in my cube currently. So like I've been thinking about like tweaks that I want to make to it down the road, and it's either I'm gonna cut cards like that care about like like fetching out more of the same card, or that like
Or you do the
what
right thing and put 30 of them into your cube.
exactly. Like I think at some point I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and just buy like a bunch of copies of every common and uncommon, and like really
Yeah,
flesh
like
it out.
I think there's this artistry in making a cube in terms of like the first, like the level one is I'm going to put all the cards and the themes I care about singleton style into a cube. And then like level two, because like that's where I'm at with like most whenever I do cube design, it always ends up
Mhm,
being like, here's all the cards I like in these colors that do these pairs or whatever, or like these themes. And then like level two is what if I have like four rare uncommon, four commons, two uncommons, and like one rare of each. And then it's like, what if I tailor this to specifically highlight the archetypes I really like and buff up the
mhm.
archetypes that I think suck but could be good? And then you're just like, what if I just make magic cards? But that's like
Exactly.
going too far. Um, like for instance, Matoya is like super useless in this set because she's like, when
Mm.
you scry or surveil, draw a card, but you're never scrying or surveilling in this set.
You're really not, it's kinda weird.
Yeah.
Like, there are a few cards in the set that surveil, but otherwise, yeah, Matoya's just kinda sitting in her cave.
Hmm. But like all the blue flashback cards, like retrieve the Esper, the 3/3 becomes a 5/5. It's just so much fun to play in multiples. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to tell you not to play your cube how you're doing it. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm judging your cubing here, but I'm just like, man, there's so many good commons in this set that are so fun.
It's true. Real talk, like, honest to God, I Black Mage's Rod is maybe one of my favorite cards that's been
It
printed,
is
just
one of
full
the
stop in a minute.
so good. It's stupid. It's stupid, but it's good.
It's so much fun, and, like, even if we have a mutual friend, Bugs Matrix. Like, even just for their sake, I wanna
Yeah,
put
right.
4 Black Mage's Rods in there just so they can like, if I ever get them to draft this cube, I can give them a good time.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I mean, Bugs is a certified sicko,
yeah, yes.
but I mean, Black Mage's Rod is such a disgusting card. And
I look
that is, I think, the biggest argument for wanting to put multiple comments in, that somebody
mhm,
should get to experience the joy of, I have 4 black mages out, I cast 1 stupid spell, and I just nail you in the face.
mhm. There's something really satisfying about casting a pinger into a pinger.
Oh
like getting a
god.
finger's trigger and just the
It's
cascading pings.
it's so gross. And it gets out of control so quickly, and then you're just dead. And you're
Mhm.
so dead. And you're just like, what the hell just happened? Uh it's so God, I forgot that they reprinted for some reason Dark Confidant in Final Fantasy.
They sure did with Final Fantasy 14 art, and when I tell you that I gasped when I saw that card spoiled. I've been a I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 off and on for over a decade at this point,
Hmm.
and, like, the every s I know it got, like, kind of overrepresented in the set and with the commander deck, but, like,
Mm.
they did a really good job with all the 14 stuff. It hits on just about every level as a 14 fan.
My entire experience with FF14 is that the soundtrack is really good, and I really like the
Yeah.
Shiva song. And otherwise, I do not play MMOs for a variety of reasons, namely in that I don't trust myself. And so like the whole thing was just completely lost on me, and I was just grumbly that like all of my favorite Final Fantasy One things or two things were all just like Matoya could have been a Final Fantasy One character, but no, she got the 14 one.
Mhm.
The stupid sea monsters, the Sahagins could be the Final Fantasy One ones, but no, they were the Final Fantasy 14 ones. And I'm like, you didn't need to give everything to 14, man. Like, I get it. It's the one that everybody plays and fine, whatever, but
Yeah. I kinda feel you there, like, even as a 14 fan, like, I was kinda disappointed with how underrepresented some of the
yeah,
games
like
were in
11
the
and
set,
12
like
had like three cards.
yeah, 12 was baffling, like, Bosch didn't show up once in that set, he wasn't even on a spell,
Yeah,
no
but Bosch is also
Pinello.
stupid, and so it's okay.
I like Bosch.
I am
He's
Bosch
my
von blah blah
idiot.
blah of Dalmasca. That's fine. Uh, Look, Balthier and Friend deserve better. Uh,
They really do.
the f-
They they did get that beautiful Akihiko Yoshida art, though, on,
yes,
like, one of their special printing cards. He's one of my favorite artists of all time, so, like, seeing that with 2 of my, like, favorite Final Fantasy characters was just, ooh, so good.
dude. The art in this set is off the chain. I mean, goddamn. It's like, look, I am a diehard Final Fantasy fanboy, so
Ah,
like we can complain about UB all day long, and a lot of it is justified, and a lot of it is reasonable. And at
mhm.
the same time, Final Fantasy is one of my favorite things on the planet, so I will own it.
I I keep saying that it's my one exception,
No, I
I'm
go ahead.
but, like, UB hasn't really, like, done a whole lot for me, like, overall, like, I've been kinda lukewarm on a lot of the UB stuff, but, like, I keep, like, looking at Final Fantasy, and I'm just like, I wanna be a hater, but I
But it's really good.
yeah, this one's kinda got my number a little bit.
Like, look, I was a Turbo hater when it was announced with Walking Dead, and then they put the Street Fighter one out, and I was like, oh, I get it. I get it now.
Mhm,
And after that, I've just been like live and let live, and I'm good to go. Like, yeah, sure,
yep,
Doctor Who doesn't mean anything to me, or like Avatar doesn't mean anything to me, or Spider Man, whatever. But when
mhm.
it does hit, it's like the greatest thing of all time, right?
Yeah.
Like,
If they made a Soul Calibur secret lair, I'm there.
well,
I'm
I've
there,
been
like,
Killick main for a very long time, so I'm
Mitsurugi.
well. I do love me a Mitsurugi, but I mean, we all started somewhere. Uh,
Yeah.
I played a lot. I played a lot of Mitsurugi and Soul Edge and Soul Calibur, um,
Mhm.
Soul Blade, but like, God, dude, just when it works, it just so works, and when it doesn't work, you're like, well, somebody else is going to feel like I did with Final Fantasy, and that's okay.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think that's been the most fun is just being like watching people just kind of like get to have their fandom moment.
Mhm.
And but there's whatever. I don't want to just turn this into a UB podcast. It feels like I've been over indexing on talking about UB lately. But
Yeah.
Final Fantasy as a cube it seems like the perfect place for Final Fantasy to go, especially since it's so hard to get these stupid cards anymore.
Yeah, it's a little tricky. Not to, like, date this episode, but like, the
Well,
holiday
as long as
releases
you ask it nicely.
okay. Oh
Yeah.
gosh. The holiday releases for Final Fantasy like just came out. So like I've been looking at those and I'm like, okay, what's going in the cube?
Mm.
And like I'm like eyeballing the Birds of Paradise reprint as a Final Fantasy 14 Chocobo. And
Oh,
I
what?
I was at
There's
a
a Bird of
yeah.
Paradise. Where? What? Did I miss this?
So one of the holiday products is the Chocobo bundle, and
Yeah.
the bundle promo is a Birds of Paradise reprint called Paradise Chocobo.
What?
It's a yeah, it's
How
a
did I
Final
just
Fantasy.
completely miss this? Uh,
I hate to break it to you this way, Shivam.
I didn't. Okay, I knew that there was a Chocobo bundle coming. I didn't know
Mhm.
anything about it. I think I snagged one from somewhere. I hadn't come yet, obviously, by the fact that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this for the first time now. What the hell do you mean? There's a Final Fantasy Chocobo pair. Okay, you know what?
Uh-huh.
Well played. Well played, Wizards of the Coast. I respect it. I
Oh,
don't know how I did not know this existed though, and now I'm mad. Like, what, they made a whole mess of Chocobo basics? What the hell is? I literally have no
yeah.
idea what's in this Chocobo bundle except that I thought the box art looked cool, so I got one.
Mhm.
Uh, oh
They
my
did a whole
god.
bunch of
Go
yeah.
ahead.
They did a whole bunch of reprints of, like, commander cards and cards from like, the standard set, and they included one exclusive new reprint that you can get, like, potentially in the Chocobo bundle. It's Snapcaster Mage,
Oh Jesus.
um, as a Final Fantasy 14 scholar.
Because
So,
why wouldn't it be Final Fantasy 14? Because everything is Final Fantasy 14.
yeah, it's
I'm just
all
going to.
MMOs all the way down.
Yeah, but at the same time, uh, holy crap, this looks hot as hell.
Yeah,
Like, insanely sick.
it's
And
it's
god damn.
the
God, I
scene
love Final
box cards
Fantasy.
are kinda dope, yeah. The Final Fantasy 1, scene box has, Dave Raposa art, and it's real good. Um,
Yeah.
like
Oh
some
my
old
god.
school video game art.
It looks
Full
like
stop.
that I got that teen box too, and like I got it
Mhm.
because I wanted to use the cards, but I don't want to use them because the art looks so good together in the scene. Because it's like, the
Yeah,
four heroes of light fighting against Garland. Like, this is so sick. And the art looks like old D&D art.
it really does. It's like
It
something you'd find in, like, an '80s video game manual, like,
Yeah, well,
for
I
something that was
mean,
like
90s. Yeah, 80, you're right.
yeah.
It does. It definitely feels like, or not video game manual, but like the Nintendo Power that would be covering this.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it feels like. And it's just like, oh my god, the art is so good. Holy
Mhm.
crap. How did I miss that this existed? Too many cards come out, man.
For
Uh
real, for real. 7 sets next year.
oh Jesus.
Yep.
You know what's funny is like I must have been hype about this at some point when they announced it and then just forgotten. Just because like, oh right, because they did the food guy, they did the Final Fantasy 15 boys, and they made the
They
campsite
did.
cooking one, which I was going to put into my new Yigra food deck. So I guess I did know about this at some point.
Yeah. My
Ah,
my friend June's a big food player, and she's been keeping an eye on that one for, like,
dude,
a
I'm
second. She was
I'm
so excited.
real excited. But you know
Mhm.
what? That's a good place for us to call this a day, man. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been lovely to talk to you.
Yeah.
And if folks wanted to find you, where could they go?
I can be primarily found on bluesky. My handle's at interestingmtg.bsky.social. So
Mhm.
I post too much. I need to log off.
I can't imagine what that's like. No idea. Uh, and as always, my friends, you can find me at Shivam Bhatt at Blue Sky, or you can find this podcast every Tuesday, or rather, anywhere podcasts are sold, or on YouTube every Tuesday, thanks to my editor, Dan. You can also hear me on Shivam and Wheeler Love Magic, or the Chronicles of Dragonlance podcast. And remember, my friends, it's not magic without the gathering, and we'll see you next time.